Hello, welcome to Studyfy India. If we talk about Indian culture, Indian temples, then there are lots of temples with different religions. India is full of religions and full of culture, also full of temples and all. It has a great history, it has a great skills, great architectures, great sculptures, and great arts. India is always known for these all things, which I just said seconds ago. Today we're going to talk about one very special temple which is located in a place called Nachiyar Koil, which is like 10 kilometers from Kumbakonam, and this particular location is based on the South India. The temple itself called Nachiyar Koil because it's located in particular place, as I mentioned. This particular temple is also known as Srinivasa Perumal Temple, and in next 10 to 15 minutes you will know all the history of this particular temple and what is the specialty of this particular temple. We're going to discuss all the secrets, all the histories, and all the mysteries of this particular temple. So keep listening our podcast. This is A.S. Patel and I am welcoming you to another very great interesting episode of Knowell series, which is presented by Stratify India. This temple is considered as the 14th Divya Desam, which is itself very great thing, and it's a temple among the 108 Divya Desams. It's actually built by Chola King Kochingan, and it is the first Vaisnavita temple which is built by the king. Actually, the king built total 70 temples, and this was the 71st temple. The main god of this temple is Srinivasa Perumal, as the temple name suggests, and his concert is known by Manjuvalli Thayar. Actually, the Thayar means god, and as the name of the temple suggests, this is one of the few Divya Desam where the goddess or the Thayar of the temple is given preference over Lord Vishnu. So there are lots of other temples too, which gives other gods preference over Lord Vishnu. But this one is special. How this is special? You will get to know in next 15 minutes. If we talk about this particular temple's history, then as per the Sthal Puran, actually there was a saint named Medhavi who actually lived here, and he wanted Mahalakshmi to be his daughter. So he worshipped the Lord religiously with utmost belief. He strongly worshipped to the Lord for his wish. As a result, he got very beautiful girl baby under a tree, which named as Vanjula Maram, also known as Asoka tree in Hindi. This girl was actually the result of his prayers, of course. The saint took the child and named her Vanjuvalli after the tree from where he found it. Vanjuvalli then grew up in his ashram. Ashram is particular place like school and hostel kind of stuff, which is just old ancient Indian thing. So Vanjuvalli grew up in his ashram and she attained the age of marriage. One day, Lord Vishnu differentiated itself in 5 forms. 5 forms names are Sankarshanan, Anirudhan, Parthimanan, Purushottaman, and Vasudevan. These are the total 5 forms which visited the Saint Medhavi's ashram as a guest, of course. The saint's disciple welcomed the guests and Vanjuvalli served a delicious meal for them. After finishing their meal, Vanjuvalli helped them in washing their hands by pouring the water. At the time Vasudevan suddenly caught and hold her hand. When she cried for help, her father Medhavi comes running for the help, but before he could catch him, all the five guests disappeared and Lord Mahavishnu appeared. Mahavishnu comes to the Medhavi saint and asks for his daughter's hand for the marriage. Saint Medhavi was extremely happy and accepted to give his daughter's hand for marriage. But he asked for three boons from the Lord. What were the three boons? I am going to mention right now. First of all, he said that he should attain eternal salvation. Secondly, all the living beings who helped him in attaining one Jubilees as a wife should attain salvation. And finally, lastly, he said that his daughter Vanjuvalli should always be given prominence. For example, she should be given first place in all aspects. So that was the three boons which was wished by Saint Medhavi. Lord Vishnu happily accepted these all conditions and married Vanjuvalli Thayar. According to sources, Lord Vishnu actually predicted that in Kali Yuga, men would have to listen to their wives, and so decided to set an example for society. From that day, this place is called as Nachiyar Koil. Meaning of this temple is Mahavishnu's wife. This Nachiyar Koil means particular. Even in the main sanctum, the goddess Vanjuvalli stands one step ahead of the god, which is why this temple is special in historical manners too. The huge idol of Garuda is actually made of Saligram stone, and it particular have separate shrine for this Garuda extending about 10.5 feet. It is not the far enough, you can say it's separate shrine, but it's just outside of the main center. And it's said that the sculptor who created this idol of this Garuda, particular Kal Garuda, he saw that the idol started flying as soon as he finishes making its wings, which is just weird. How this happened, I mean, it's just crazy. This is actually said by him, but it must be true because after listening some facts about this particular temple, you will get to know that how crazy this particular idol is. The sculptor actually got shocked by this sudden action and he threw stone at the idol. And this stone actually struck to the Garuda's nose. After got bitten by this stone, the Garuda actually came falling down and decided to stay there in this particular temple to bless the devotees. So this is the story of this particular idol of Kal Garuda. So that's why there is separate shrine of Kal Garuda extending. This temple has special rituals which is followed by the people and all the locals. It's very special event for them, and during the months of December to January and March to April, they organize these things and they perform the particular rituals which is followed by Hinduism. They called this particular event Kal Garuda Seva, and in this event they do some very unique things which is not normally done by other Hindu temples. In this time, the Kal Garuda, during this ritual time, the Kal Garuda would be taken out of his sanctum for a procession. The Kal Garuda would step out of its sanctum by around 7 pm, and now the magical event takes the place. This is where people get amazed. I am going to say very unique thing about this particular idol, And I know most of you don't gonna believe it, but it's actually very true because it's actually observed and experienced by thousands of people who takes part in this particular event. So, as I told you, during this time, the Kalgaruda idol would have to be taken out. So only 4 people are required to carry the Kalgaruda idol from the main place, from the temple. But as you take out this idol out of this particular temple, the idol get heavier and heavier and heavier. The demanding of the people to carry this particular idol gets higher and higher and higher. At last, you need 128 people to carry this particular idol, which was weight around very simple number, which was enough weight at a starting to just carried by 4 people, and now it's so dramatically increased that 128 people has to carry it. This thing actually repeats even in reverse order too. So when the same thing repeated for getting this particular idol into the temple, the 128 people carry in the start and they get lesser and lesser and lesser. In the end, the 4 people are there to carry this particular idol in the end. So this thing is actually observed by lots of people, and it just amazes the people because how mysterious is that? Some people say that there are some gravitational thing happening there, some scientific stuff out there which is just uh, going not normal. What I believe is it's a pure blessing of the god, because how can the gravity that much vary in this particular area? It's almost impossible to happen there. And also scientists also have researched on this particular topic, but they found nothing. And also they have declared that yes, this is the blessing of the god. Even while this process is happening, the idol get sweat profusely so that his clothes get drenched in the sweat. We could even see the droplets of sweat on his nose. Here comes very interesting part. As I told you earlier in this podcast, that how Manjuvalli Thayar is goddess and she has to be keeping up in every prominence. So this was the Kalgaroda temple from South India, and if you get chance to visit here, please to check out this place because now you also know the actually importance of these things and unique qualities of this particular temple. India is always known for its culture and the goddess things and just religions and all. If you get ever chance, do check out these all things. And this is what actually matters in our life. We have to see our past and develop today's world. That is it for today. This was Kalgaroda Temple, and I'm signing off from this podcast. Thank you.